Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on getting our economy built up, which is going pretty slowly. We're spending a lot on construction, but that's, that's alright. That's alright. Private sector is building quite a bit of stuff. I think going to homesteading may have been a mistake, but having done it, we're going to proceed forward to democracy. Hey, a lot of progressive consideration. That's wonderful. Excellent. How is the budget? The budget is alright. I don't want to have to increase taxation. Actually, we've been doing a lot of industrialization. How much better would... It still wouldn't be better to go to per capita taxation. This is bananas. I'm trying to industrialize, and industrializing isn't better for the economy. This is silly. Silliness size large. Gold reserves have been going up significantly over time, which is good. That means that our economy is continuing to grow. We're making a lot of money from consumption taxes, but most of it's from... Actually, a big chunk of it's from minting. Which means getting better banking tech could be really useful. Hey, there's Central Archives. Excellent. Now, I don't need to go to Central Archives. Let's see how it affects cash flow if I do. No, I got the steamships. Well, I don't think that's actually going to be... Well, this says it's going to be more productive. It was lying. It wasn't. Perfect. There's labor movement. That should make our trade unions a little bit stronger. Alright, so let's do a large one. Let's do Guangzhou. So that is more expensive. In fact, it seems significantly so. Indefensible extortion. An order from the scholar officials has gone on a speaking tour across the nation, denouncing mercantilism and praising the value of free trade. When we consider that the theory of our great system guarantees to everyone the full enjoyment of all the fruits of their industry and enterprise, it is clear that anything other than the free flow of goods is an indefensible extortion and culpable betrayal of our values. We must work towards a common goal, 10% enacting chance, or they have a truly remarkable speaker among them, extra approval and stronger. We work towards a common goal. I'm not going to make the scholar officials any stronger. So, this provided us a lot of more bureaucracy, but at a cost. So we're going to go back to filing cabinets for now, because we don't need any extra bureaucracy. We'll just increase that as we need it. We're running lean and mean, and emphasis on the mean because our army is enormous. Northern Anhui is still working on... Oh my gosh, we've got starvation here. Yikes. Even though we've got profitable rice farms running. Maintaining a single crop would be more profitable. Let's do that, and hopefully, they weren't the only ones. They were. Gosh darn it. Oh no, there were a few others. Not many, though. Let's see what we can swap over to single crop before it becomes not profitable. Because I think it'll generally be profitable. Usually fruit is very low profit in my market, although it's not too low profit. We'll keep doing ones. Well, maybe we'll do Southern Anhui, and that'll reduce the fruit supply enough that it'll actually be productive. Because the price of grain really is significant. Law of progressive adoption. Oh man, we might ace... Well, we didn't ace it, but we might have a swift path into free trade. This number's starting to look a little better. Might just be the private sector taking up more of the construction queue, though. It's been a couple of weeks. Looks like these are still profitable. Not now. Alright, beautiful. We've reached a balance. We've arrived at the location we desired to be located at. Who's using tools? Chiang Mai. And the Shan states. No, definitely use ox-powered plows. What do I look like? I'm made of, tools? Don't. It's oops all labor. Are you serious? I'm doing the thing you want. They want local police force. I'm literally doing the thing you want right now. You're a market liberal. You should... I'm giving you free trade, you bastard. Alright. Representing his constituents and the scholar officials, Cheng Peng has issued a formal petition to the Qing government to pass local police force. One last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about new legislation. Well, is that it? Goodness, you seem as if you've seen a ghost. I'm sure I can spare the last hours of the light for them, can't I? I believe so, sir. They were not taking no for an answer. They must understand the presence. Oh my gosh, they're going to be furious. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to pretend I'm going to do this. A mine in eastern Guangdong has collapsed, trapping miners in the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the story a tragedy across eastern Guangdong and the nation. They dug me out, but left my friend behind. That was all the foreman was able to get out of the wretched boy. Sooty rags clung to him like wispy strands of a torn funeral jacket. Whether he held back his tears for fear of a beating or to keep strong, the foreman did not know. He was spent for the day. The foreman hoped the manager had a mind for mercy. Now we have three options here. This is a small price to pay for the March of Industry, which makes lower stratum pops more radical, but increases the power of the industrialists and makes them happier. This outrageous abuse of the common man cannot continue. This makes upper stratum pops in the state more radical, but it increases the strength of the trade unions and makes them happier. Or these mines are a blight upon man and countryside alike, which makes middle stratum pops more radical, but it makes the rural folk stronger and happier. I'm going to do that third one, because stronger and happier rural folk is what I got going on. So once free trade is good to go, we're gonna pull the rural folk back into government and blitz democracy. Real democracy, mega democracy, universal suffrage. It's gonna be the best. And with that will be one more step in the direction of Sun Yat-Sen's dream. Action and reaction. As news escaped Madrid of yet another violent crackdown on the Spanish labor movement, outraged members of the trade unions have taken to the streets of Beijing, marching under the banner of the Anti-Spanish League. In the imagination of the Qing labor movement, Spain had long loomed as a bastion of reaction, but something felt different about this particular incident. Perhaps the violence exhibited by the Madrid constabulary had been especially brutal this time? Perhaps it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. In any case, the Qing workers unfurled their banners and marched down towards the ambassadorial quarter, their cries for the overthrow of Queen Isabel de Bourbon reverberating through the city like they never had before. As long as their anger is focused abroad, they join the Anti-Spanish League, which is a little happy. Or temper their rage with diplomatic action, they get happier, deteriorates relations with Spain by 10. But they don't join the League. Let them join the League. That'll make them a little happier, and that'll be fine. Industrialists are an interest group. Pulling them into the government will reduce legitimacy, but it will make it possible for me to get education. But not right now, because I'm taking an end run. The industrialists don't fuck with the rural folk, and vice versa. And I need the industrialists, I need the rural folk in there to make a democracy happen. Which hopefully we'll be able to do right after free trade. Galeti is improving relations. Wonderful. Alright, we're getting gold mines, and then it's barracks already. Beautiful. Corn laws completed. End of the corn laws. The import tax on grain known as the corn laws has been abolished, signifying a political shift away from mercantilism and landowner power. Some may say we have bent to the will of merchants, abandoning economic power held by the land of our country to the waters of international commerce. They forget too easily that nothing is greater threat to their power than a mob of starving peasants. Let the grain trade begin. 10% of laborers and peasants in Great Qing become more loyal. Look at this number. Hiya! Alright, now. What? Oh, right. Where's the guy? Where's the guy? Where's my dude? Where'd he go? Gosh darn it. No! My whole plan. No! Gosh darn it. Where's my fellow? My Democrat? Ugh, I'm furious. I've never been angrier. That's an exaggeration. Alright, so what the fuck do I want to do? Alright. It's only the industrialists and the trade unions that dislike autocracy. This sucks. I'm furious. I can't get any freaking agitators. Do I have closed borders? I have closed borders. Well, putting those dorks in there is not going to help. We'll go to... This sucks. But they like schools, so we'll have to we'll go after schools for the moment, and that'll be the thing we're doing. Oh, and they wanted local police force too. Gosh, they're gonna be big mad. Ah, I beefed that. I beefed that real bad. I didn't realize I was at closed borders. This is rough. Do you not even care about? They don't. They really don't. They don't care about immigration or anything like that. I'm salty. I'm salty, my nerds. I got big salt. How are things with Spain? Spain's still doing just fine. Can eat the Consolidating. You know what, Burma? Time for you to be a vassal. And time to eat the Consolidating. 26.4 infamy. It's probably fine. Bahawalpur joins, and that'll be what it is. Ooh, this army needs another leader. Here's an armed forces guy. Do what we always do and give him mega promotions. And we'll just send the first field army. I think I can take it. They got line infantry and mobile artillery and lancers, but I still think I can take them. Shuksagon has died. That means we need another admiral over here. Hey, this guy's a petit bourgeois guy. Why do I have so many authoritarians? This sucks. Discipline and punish. The role of discipline in the new public schools has been raised by the armed forces as an area of improvement in the plans for this new education system. This is not merely about keeping an orderly classroom so that knowledge can be imparted. It is about imparting character. After all, we've been given an enormous responsibility by the parents of these children, who do all they can to raise them as upstanding citizens. Too often we find boys joining the military service whose character has already been almost irrevocably ruined by an unruly youth and a lack of respect for authority. It needn't be so. We should focus on the curriculum, reduce enactment time, salty armed forces. Armed forces are okay. Working this into the school system is paramount, increase enactment time. No, I'm going to reduce enactment time. I'm paying for this already. Can I bring one more field army? I think the answer is yes. The cost here should be modest. We'll see what that turns force comparison into once this unit arrives, which should not be long now. It's good, but it could be better. So we'll bring in one more army. That should be fine. Now, we are finally building these gold mines in North Borneo. Are there any more locations in our entire empire that could sustain gold mines? I think we both know the answer is yes, but let's validate. Oh, not really. North Jilin. Over here. Yeah. Alright, well, let's go gold mine maxing. And that means, once again, I am putting off the barracks, but I've got to have my gold. Boys and girls, Debate over whether the new public schools should have separate classes for male and female students, and perhaps different curricula as well, is causing disagreements over how to implement the new education system. Would anyone question the innate differences in disposition between the sexes, or the divinely ordained roles in our society? How could we expect to raise proper ladies and gentlemen if we make no such distinction in their education? Such ideas are relics of the past, reduced enactment time, but a bunch of interest groups unhappy: armed forces, Confucian scholars, rural folk, and scholar officials. Or we should work out two separate branches, increase enactment time. Alright, I'm going to go with the second one. I don't want to piss off too many people. So, we're going back to a 63-day cycle, and that'll be just fine. First comparison here is good. It could be better. Let's pull in another field army. I don't want to be risking anything here. Gold mines are getting built. Gold mines are good for the economy. And by the economy, I mean the government budget. Now, how do I... Let me take a quick check of my companies. Companies are good. That's why I've got so much bureaucracy. This is the Qing Paper Company. Now, we're working on postal savings. Yeah, central banking's up next. I'm going to need 4,000 bureaucracy for the schools. Ottoman Empire sides with Nejid against Russia. You get 'em, Ottoman Empire. Force comparison here is looking much better. Looks like these are going to be wins. So I'm feeling pretty alright about that. Next is Chitral, and after that, Afghanistan. But we'll need to wait for our infamy to decay. Afghanistan, do you have any friends? You have an alliance with Bukhara and a rivalry with Chitral. Alright, that shouldn't be a problem. Nejid backs down. Excellent. Extra teachers. Parents who have experienced teaching children at home are offering to assist as teachers in rural schools to facilitate the new public school system. Ask any of my neighbors and they'll vouch for what I've done for the community despite my lack of formal qualifications. Any kids around here who already know how to read and write, I taught. For me, it's a greater source of pride than anything I made with my hands. It's fortunate we already have educated people, reduced agriculture and plantations throughput, 8% enactment chance. Or we must not let this distract from other work, 4% enactment chance. I'm gonna go with the first one. I want as much enactment chance right now as I can get. 13% is not enough to rely on long term, and I'm gonna take every enactment percentage chance I can possibly enjoy. I do have a lot of tech spread right now on account of all my universities running strong production methods, but if I can get... Ooh, I got a little bit of extra authority. That's interesting. But my main thing is, if I can get the education system implemented, then I can get a whole lot of extra literacy, and that means I can focus my technological improvement in the directions that I need to focus it. And there's mechanized workshops. Beautiful. So that enables better production methods for a couple of important locations. Livestock ranches go to slaughterhouses. We got the tools for it. Stop pretending it's not going to be more productive. Furniture manufactories can go to full mechanized. And textile mills can go to sewing machines. And now we're producing a ton of basic goods. Academic assistants, the teachers of our higher university institutions of learning, have offered to advise the government on the implementation of the new public schools. There are certainly differences between teaching students the fundamentals and the more advanced education offered at our universities. Nevertheless, as architects of the upper floors of this towering structure of knowledge, we believe the least we can do is provide some insight into how the foundation should be built. We'll be happy to have their help, minus 50% university throughput, plus 20% enactment chance. Their research work is more important, 10% enactment chance, or they could be of help in finalizing this bill, one entire phase. I'm going to take the first one. I can take the university throughput decrease for a little bit, and 20% is huge in the public schools situation. I need a few more munitions plants running. Because we're about 200 munitions short. I actually think I need 4 more. So unfortunately, we're going to put off the barracks once again. We're going to get the gold mines running. Then we're going to do the barracks. Brunei, how are you with infrastructure? I'm messing you up with infrastructure. Wait. Before we do this, are you running the railways that I built yet? No. Okay. Alright. So, I need to put that in. I know I just keep queuing things in ahead of these barracks, but I've just... Actually, munitions plants can go at the bottom. I need to do my military expansion. Alright, we're almost there. We've almost won our war. Hey, sir? Tributary? Sir? Yes. Alright. That's beautiful. Excellent. And now we'll improve relations. Because they're salty. They're going to get entangled with our economy pretty shortly. But for now, they're not doing super great. I'm loving this line item. Hey, we're in consideration. Excellent. America is stealing a protectorate over Japan. Well, that is interesting. Russia will probably side the other direction. But I wanted a protectorate over Japan. I wanted to eat Japan. They're in my sphere. Gosh darn it. USA, you are piling on. That's not as much infamy as I was thinking it would be. Alright, well now USA will accept our help. I would love a huge pile of money. I can't revoke a bunch of claims. And there's not really a lot of territory I want to eat of Russia's, so maybe I'll just hang tight for now and not get involved. Cash flow could definitely be better. Economy is going through modest growth. Again, as we increase here, things should be getting easier. What can I do with all of this authority? I could throw a consumption tax on one of the staples, but I don't desire to do that. Could throw a consumption tax on oil, since most of that's going from outside of China. That's also an option. I could also leave it. It is increasing the speed of my my legal reforms, which is pretty cool. Come on, give me public schools. Advanced by 15%. We're up to 50%. Hopefully that'll be good. Now I got 21 stuff. Chitral Tributary 3.7 infamy. Afghanistan 22. So maybe I'll do Afghanistan first, and then... Ooh, but actually I need Khalsa Raj to be... Because I need a solid front here. So I think the actual answer is I'll go for Chitral first. Sir, become my tributary. 8% chance they'll say yes. Nobody of consequence willing to stand against you. They don't have much of an army, do they? Yeah, they do have some real infantry. We'll just send the 1st Field Army to deal with it. 1st Field Army needs a new leader. Ooh, I got a literati guy. That's excellent. Can't give him leadership over the party, unfortunately. And this is happening, and this is happening. We'll let the world wage its wars for now. I'm a little short on influence. I think I've pulled ahead of a lot of my my potential rivals. Yeah, we'll hit Oman and Begemder, I guess. Get myself a little bit more influence. Get myself that sweet, sweet infamy decay. And that'll be real nice. So we are slowly increasing costs by increasing the size of our armed forces. But again, I think it is going to be worth it. Obviously, this is going to go real slow. But in the long term, it's going to be really worth it to have better armed forces. I am also going to experience significant increases in costs by... Okay. By enacting public schools, because I'm going to need to go to standard filing system for some of my government sectors, but hopefully that shouldn't be too big of a deal. We're in adoption, so let's get started working on that. 50-50 chance we get there next check. Don't want to go too fast. I'm going to need 4,000 bureaucracy in the pot. So let's go with a few big ones and see what that does for us. This might be enough. We'll see. We'll see what it does. It's not increasing over time because I only changed the production methods. Alright. So, standardized filing system. Yeah, as you can see, the cost here is significant. Chongqing and Western Guangdong both have very large... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so... 2 arms. So we've still got a big block of government that we haven't converted yet. So we'll save that for a later point. Postal savings is almost here. Hopefully that'll help with my overall my financial situation and make the investment pool a little bit more active. This balance is shiny and red, but it's not actually that big of a deal. I am continuing to industrialize, continuing to employ more and more. Obviously, the fact that I'm increasing the size of the army right now is, in fact, making this prospect a little bit of a losing number, but I can always turn off construction in the event of some sort of larger scale military action. Plus, I got a pretty expensive army mobilized, so maybe this number will be looking better later on when I'm not doing so much stuff. Beautiful. There we go. Khalsa, how is subject payments? They're paying quite a bit. I could reduce their subject payments. I don't think I need to, though. And we're up to 64%. Now, here's a question I need to ask myself. Do I restore subject payments? No, I don't. I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to hold off on reducing subject payments for these 2 countries for now. Well, except for Chitral. They don't have any friggin' economy. Can't improve relations because relations are already good. And they'll be willing to be a vassal soon enough. For Khalsa Raj... It still makes sense to reduce subject payments here. I know I'm being a little silly about it, but it's worth it. Hey, there's postal savings. Excellent. So that's shopkeepers and farmers. So hopefully this means that the investment pool will get a lot more cash flow into it, and they'll start using more of the construction capacity of the country. I'm going to do it. I'm going to reduce subject payments. I know it sounds silly, but... It's so little for them. It's so little for me, and so much for them. It just seems like a sensible way to go about things. I'm peeved that I didn't get Dainan back. Just peeved. Scholar officials want local police force. I'm going to give them dedicated police force. They're going to be big mad for a bit. But hopefully they'll... you know, get over it. Do I have anyone who's democracy aligned? I really don't. It's Uppsala authoritarians and traditionalists, kind of all the way down here. I really wish I could get someone who likes to have a democracy, but I guess that's just not in the cards for the moment. Come on, public schools. Debate success. Okay, we're up to 74%. Still got an ammo shortage. I could build up these munitions plants in order to reduce the cost to the government of all these barracks that I'm building, and I think that's the right call. Because I am still building the barracks. And then when that's done, I'll need to figure out what to call these mid-sized forces. I called these defense forces, not coastal forces. Little mistake there. Nothing to sneeze about. Is that a thing people say? I'll never know. of just plem raising taxes, though. My standard of living is really struggling. I'm hoping the whole schools thing will help out with all that other stuff. Russia, can you dial it back, please? Can you maybe relax, Russia? Maybe relax. Grab Nepal, but again, I want Afghanistan. That's my real goal here. As long as I'm pissing off majors, I might as well form a power block. Ooh, it'd be nice to have a power block. I could really go for a power block. I could go for a block of power. I could be powerful. Do you think I could be powerful? Ooh, I got pharmaceuticals. Excellent. How long have we been going here? We're actually getting close to the end of the episode, but we're getting close to the end of the year, so that's perfect. I got realism spreading now, and we've got public schools, and I've got just barely a little bit of bureaucracy. So hopefully this will start really spiking literacy. Now, I have the ability to get them to increased public school size, but I don't want to actually do that yet, because it's going to cost me a huge pile of bureaucracy, and I need to make sure that my cash flow is good to go, because right now my cash flow is not great. In fact, I'm at the point where I'm considering the possibility of maybe cutting some armies entirely here, particularly in these middle slots. If I got 5 field armies with 70 battalions each, that's a reasonable setup. So I'm thinking about a military reform. With that having been said, it's going to have to wait till next episode, because we're all done here. My nerds, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.